In this video, I will demonstrate how you can connect two Cisco routers by their serial interfaces in a basic WAN connection configuration. Now, to do this is pretty simple, and I will simulate it using a virtual lab. In this configuration, I have two routers, and you can imagine that these are routers that you just took out of the box, and they are Cisco 2600 series routers. And to get started, I'll first get that physical link straight. So I'll connect my serial cable from one serial port on this Cisco router to another serial port. Now you notice that this prompt came up. Specify the DCE or DTE for this connection. If you had a physical back-to-back cable, you will need to identify which end you want to be the DCE and which end you want to be the DTE. Usually the router will be the DTE, and usually you'll have sometimes you'll have a frame relay switch or some other device handling the clocking. But whichever device you have as the DCE, that device will handle the clocking for the link. In this configuration, I only have two routers, so one of these routers need to be able to specify the clock rate. And I will use this router right here as the DCE, and that automatically means that this link is the DCE. Alright, so I connected on this router on the left. I have connected the serial 00 interface to the serial 01 interface on the router on the right. So I'll first start off by going into the console of my router. I'll go into privilege mode, then global config. Then I'll go into the interface of the serial interface of the router. Now I'll begin by assigning an IP address to it. So I'll just give it, let me give it a 10.10.10.1 with a /30 subnet mask. I'll turn the interface on. Now, because I specified this router interface as the DCE, I'll also need to add a command called clock rate. And this command will basically specify how fast bits will traverse this link. And if I want to make it a 56K link, I'll specify the clock rate if it's a 56K connection we have. If it's a T1 connection, then you know the clock rate will differ. But that's all I need to do on this end as far as configuring the interface is concerned. If I had any routing protocols working on my network, I'll also need to configure the bandwidth command, and the bandwidth command should be the same speed as the clock rate. The only thing, the bandwidth command is measured in kilobits. So instead of putting 56,000, I just put 56. So I can exit out of that, and that's it for this router. In the real world, you may want to run a copy run start just to save your configuration in case the worst happens and you need to reboot your router. The configuration will still be there. And for labeling purposes, allow me to just give this router a name. So I'll use the host name command, and I'll just call it the Exoma router. And I'll save this config. So that's it for this link. So I'll go on this router here on the right, and I'm going to give it an IP address in the same subnet. So I'm going to go into the serial interface. Remember, it's serial S01, and I'm going to give it the IP address 10.10.10.2, and I'm going to give it a /30 subnet mask. Now, this subnet mask is a special subnet mask that we would use simply for point-to-point links. And the reason why is because this subnet mask is the only one that will allow only two hosts on the network. So it allows more security because we only have two interfaces that need connectivity. So we don't need to give it a big address space if we just have two interfaces. So we typically use the 255.255.255.252 subnet mask when we are connecting point-to-point links. I do not need to specify the clock rate on this interface because this interface is the DCE. But however, I can specify the bandwidth in the event that this router was configured with the routing protocol. This bandwidth command will let the routing protocol know how fast the link really is. And I'll turn the interface on by using the no shut command. And allow me to give this router a name. I'll call it Nassau. And that's it for that. I'll save the config. And that is how you configure a point-to-point link using Cisco routers. And of course, to test the connection, you'll always want to do ping, just to make sure that the link is up and we have connectivity. And yes, we get replies. And it's always good to test your ping on both sides. As you can see, the success rate is 5 out of 5, 100%. So let's see if we have the same luck on this end, which we should. Right? But in some cases, on some networks, you may be able to ping on one side, but you can't ping on the other side. Okay, so let me go back here and just ping 10.10.10.2. And I just need to put in the IP address. I'm just getting sort of excited. And I get replies. Okay. So I hope this video has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing. In the next video, I will begin to expand this network and describe to you how we will create a basic internetwork. Thank you for viewing.